Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds. Thank you for joining me for a weekly What Sold video. This week the sales haven't been terrible, but the frustrations have been kind of high on eBay. I have been getting very frustrated with returns on eBay and buyers not being totally truthful, and I am not getting any help from eBay and mostly being told to just deal with it, accept it. So I've had some frustrating returns and it is hurting my business, and it's been a tough week mentally for reselling for me. But I'm gonna share with you quite a few solds this week. My plan for, if I get the time to, I'm gonna do a video on what it's been like to be a full-time reseller for a couple years, because I'm officially coming up on that anniversary. I'm gonna try to get the time to do that. But I might not get the chance. I am having to, again, take my Basset Hound into his cancer doctor because we have another mass that is formed. And maybe that's too much information, but I always share a little bit about my life, the realistic life of being a reseller and self-employed and all that. So luckily this business gives me the opportunity to be able to take him in at short notice. That is one thing I am always going to be grateful for, but I have been a little frustrated this week. So if you guys can think good thoughts for him and hope that it's nothing too serious, I'm taking him in soon. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and get started on solds. If you would like to share with me any fun finds you had this week, any positive stories, anything like that you'd love to share in the comments, I would really enjoy reading those right now. So let's get started on what I sold this week. I will also say my cross-listing sales have continued to be pitiful, but I'm continuing to cross-list. I'm really just kind of holding out for fourth quarter right now to kind of tell me if this is gonna work or not. You know, if I'm gonna get out of this kind of slump. But I did have some good sales. It really wasn't too bad of a week. Just had some frustrations. So this first one here is a 45th edition Hollander Auto Truck Interchange Manual book. This sold for best offer of $52. I paid $10 for it, so I did pay up, but I knew that it would sell for good money, especially because this is basically the best condition any of them have ever sold for. So the buyer was really excited with how good of a condition it was in and got positive feedback for that. This I picked up quite a while ago for about $1.25. It's a Salt Lake City Seeing the Gray Line travel brochure pamphlet bus motor tour. A lot of this ephemera I never expect to sell quickly. This has probably been listed a year, but it takes up so little room. I don't mind selling ephemera like this for $7.15, especially when I can get them in bulk lots. This is, I talked about this in my last What Sold. I parted out an Old World Christmas Halloween set that had a missing and a broken piece. Here are 3 more that sold, and I believe I sold 3 more after this one that I'm not showing in this video. But this set sold for $15, and the other set I'm not showing sold for $14. So even if you don't see signs of things being parted out, you can always give it a try. That's what I did with this, and I ended up definitely making more money than I would have putting them together. Plus, it's just less things that might break, because these aren't too bad to pack, breakable wise, but it's still 10, I had 10 of these, 10 little tiny things that just one breaks, and it's a frustrating situation. But this one's an Old World Christmas Halloween, blown glass, small ornaments, bat, moon, candy corn. They're cute. They're really tiny and cute. This I've had for a couple years. I can't believe it took so long to sell. I maybe just had it priced wrong and never went back and checked. This is a Brenda Russell Get Here 1988 vinyl LP A&M Records album sealed, small flaw. The small flaw was just in the packaging. So I just wanted the buyer to know that there's a little bit of a tear in the packaging. And it sold for the asking price of $26.05. This is back when I offered free shipping for my media mail items. And it is something that I really should go and do and check my older listings for pricing and that, or I might just do some markdowns on all my oldest items, because I pretty much know what my old items are, even though I do the end and sell similar. It's good to go back and either lower prices, things like that, because stuff fluctuates. I'm amazed by some of the things I sold you know, a couple years ago that are now worth nothing, or the things that are worth a ton that I sold a couple years ago for not very much. This I just picked up at a yard sale for 50 cents. It's just an Animal Adventure bunny rabbit plush, stuffed animal, white, pink nose with tag. It's from 2022. Absolutely nothing super special, but it sold for $12.95 in a week. This I just picked up at a thrift store for 99 cents. It's an Argento frame Swarovski crystal enamel brass easel back picture. Fits 3.5 by 5. This one sold for best offer of $40. I did use Google Lens to help me, and the only reason I put all that information in there is because all the ones I found on Google Lens, WorthPoint, eBay that had sold looked exactly like this one. So I felt comfortable putting that because all the information was on a piece of paper that had been taken out of this one. And I priced it lower because the only ones available right now were selling for $100. They had them for $100. That's why it does pay to look up pricing, because they were asking $100, but the sold only ever topped out at about $50. So I priced mine at $50 and then took best offer for $40 in a day or two. So even if you see something for a really high price, if there's only one or two and not a lot of sold history, do some more investigation, because otherwise you might be sitting on an item priced really high for a very long time. This is a vintage price, or a vintage FisherPrice Games Turtle Recall 1994 picnic memory game, no instructions. This sold for the sale price of $29.66. I picked this up at an estate sale for $5. This I picked up at a yard sale for $1, I believe, and it's a wildlife artist Coyote Plush 7-inch stuffed animal, eco-friendly Eco Pals. Sold for $11.66. Again, I'm totally fine selling these all the time. It's not a huge profit, but it's so easy to pack these. I can always tell on days when I have items like this, because I can pack like 15 of them in an hour, but then you start throwing in glass picture frames and giant breakable vases, and things slow down. This is a vintage G.I. Joe Night Force Outback backpack Hasbro, and it sold for $13.95 very, very quickly. This was in, if you've watched my channel, my action figure tote that I purchased for $100. I finally have made myself start to go through it because the Wolverine and Deadpool movie is coming out, or has come out already. So I am making myself list because I do have a fair amount of Wolverine stuff in there, mixed in with some other assorted G.I. Joe and things. So I am making myself go through it. It is an experience, guys, but I will say Google Lens is your best friend. I have definitely made some money with Google Lens on this tote. I'm not at the point where this is a home run on the action figure tote that I paid $100 for, but I'm doing well and I'm happy with it. It's just a lot of work, but it's helping me with knowledge for future. But definitely Google Lens makes a big difference, because otherwise, what would I do with this backpack? I mean, there are no identifying marks. It is a backpack. I would not know how to price that, and most times it would just get thrown away for people. So that is a really helpful tool, Google Lens. They also have a Facebook group called Action Figure Identification or something along those lines, and they're really great at helping as well. I don't have my microphones on, so you can probably hear my bloodhound snoring. It's quite loud right now. And here's a Boyds bear that I'm rich off of. It's a Boyds bear Mia Friends Are Flowers That Never Fade Away headbean collection. It was just a cute little one, sold for $8.05. If you haven't watched my Boyds bear research video, I will link that in the description for you, because there are some that'll sell for a little more than this. This I was kind of surprised by. I picked it up at a local thrift store for $1.50, and it's a Virginia Metal Crafters Metropolitan Museum of Art brass trivet. This sold for $40. None were currently listed, and only a couple had sold, so I did price this up, and it sold within a week. And I believe mine's higher priced than any solds, at least within the last couple of years. This is my big sale. This is the big impressive sale. My partner picked this up at a yard sale. We were just leaving it, and he happened to take one more glancing look and saw a couple Nintendo Powers on a bookshelf, and he grabbed them. and this was one of them. It's the first issue. It's Nintendo Power Magazine issue number 1, Super Mario 2, 1988, July, August, with poster and inserts. I will never find one in this condition again. I can pretty much guarantee that. This is one of those items I was tempted to keep because, again, it's something I probably will never find again, especially because we paid less than $1 for it, and it sold for $324.95 in less than a week, and that was priced up pretty good. I definitely had a ton of offers for it, but I was willing to wait because I knew that mine was in particularly nice condition. This is teaspoons, spoons, 6 1/4 inch Rogers Co. stainless steel Korea, precious rose, lot of 8. Just some silverware. I can't do a video without silverware. And it sold for $22.45 this lot. And this one's probably been listed about 6 months. This came from the action figure tote. It's the 1992 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TMNT Delta Team Dawn figure. It sold for $38.95. I probably could have got a little more for it because it did sell quite quick, but I priced it what I believe is fairly. So either someone got a good deal or someone was just looking for this right when I put it up. Whoops. This is a Shackman wood book cabinet shelf bookcase dollhouse furniture, Japan vintage. It sold for best offer of $10, and it is just a cute little piece. I probably have 50 cents or less into this, but it has been listed for a fair amount of time. Shackman, how I got that was a sticker that was on the bottom. This is a Crazy Cat Lady action figure set with 6 cats, Archie McPhee. New, it sold for $9.86. I picked this up at an estate sale for $1. This I picked up at the Goodwill for $2.99. It's Streams in the Desert, a daily devotional journal, leather, unused, sold for $21. Little more of the action figure tote, and it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TMNT vintage 1992 Wacky Wild West Chief Leo figure. I am grateful. I believe I am now totally in the profit on any of the action figures I sell. And I'm looking down because I still have a pile. I'm leaving it on the floor so that I make myself finish working through it and not put it away. Because if I put it away, I will again do the thing where it's out of sight, out of mind, and a later Sarah problem. So I'm putting it on the floor so it's in my way. And it sold for this one sold for best offer of $16. This has been listed for years and I never want to see it again. It's a brass Sankyo horse carousel pony music box figurine with pole 8-inch working. I know this has been listed a very long time because I don't have a video of the music, so I'm imagining it was before eBay changed that feature where you could put them on your listing. So it's been listed a while. I should have updated the listing with the music, but I didn't. I just wanted to stare at it and be grumpy about it because I thought this would sell faster. But I believe I paid $1 for this somewhere. This I picked up at an estate sale for $1. It's an Andrea by Sadiq wolf porcelain figurine with tag, 1991. Beautiful, wonderful condition. Sold for the sale price of $22.45. This I just picked up at a yard sale for $3. It's CAD Shack Singing Dancing Gopher Sings I'm Alright plush Jimmy Reed. See video. I have the video because it doesn't completely work. It's supposed to like groove, sing, move its head, move its arms. No arm movement is to be found. So I just put that in the description and it still sold for $24.26. These I picked up for $1 each, and they're Cameo Creations Velvet Victorian Lady Portraits, Frames, Hamilton, Hobenstein pair. And let me show you how I got some of that information. That is on the back for me. And you can see here it says a Cameo Creation, and says it's Countess Hobenstein and Lady Hamilton. And these, I've talked about these before, but they feel quite cheap, but they are still worth some money. This one I wanted to show you and talk about what I do and why I do it, even though I have talked about it multiple times before. But this is a Reed & Barton Sumner stainless flatware salad forks lot of 3. This sold for full asking, along with this one. That's the dinner forks lot of 3 replacements. And then I didn't include these listings, but I sold one more that was the 6 soup spoons for this for $25. And then I messaged the buyer because they purchased all of this before I got any sort of chance to combine shipping, or they never asked for it, they just paid outright. So I just messaged them and said, hey, I just want you to know, as soon as I get these packed up and weighed, I will refund you the difference in shipping. And then they were really excited and they purchased one more lot. So I do that because it's good customer service, because they ended up paying like $24 for shipping, which they were pretty close to me. It wasn't gonna cost $24. So I refunded a good amount, and then they purchased another set. So I might not have sold that set to them if I hadn't have told them that I was gonna do that. So that's why I do it. It's just good customer service and helps get repeat buyers, because I know it's helped me with my flatware sales, especially in the past. And it saves me money on fees and things because the shipping cost goes down. And this is a brass metal easel stand tabletop picture plate holder display, vintage. I pick these up anytime I see them, any kind of little cute little display easel, especially if it's brass. This sold for $20, I believe, and I picked it up for $2, I think. But anytime I see these, they sell within a couple weeks. They're just definitely desirable. This I just picked up at an estate sale for it. This one was $1, and it's a Heavenly Ski Resort, Lake Tahoe, California blue corduroy adjustable hat, vintage. Sold for $39.95, the full asking price, quite quickly. And then I think this actually is my only cross-listing sale for a whole week, but it's a golf brooch pin lot of 3, women golfing, 17th hole, gold bag, gold tone. Sold for $13.95. I'm still gonna continue trying to cross-list, again, because I dedicated to doing it for 2 years. And also, man, if I had the ability, I do wish that I could make more off Poshmark and Mercari, because I do prefer those platforms on a lot of things, because I think it more fairly supports buyer and seller on there, where eBay is very, very buyer oriented, which I understand. I've seen a lot of bad sellers on eBay. I've bought some stuff from sellers that haven't been great on eBay. I bought from a lot of great ones, but also some that haven't been the best, so I get it. I get what eBay's doing, and I get their policies for the most part. It's just been a very frustrating return week. I've had 3, and I typically only have a few a year, so I'm hoping that just means that the worst is over for right now, and I can have a little reprieve from that. But other than that, guys, that's all I have to share with you this week. So I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. As always,